Alright, gentlemen. So, since I sadly cannot get the games to talk about this Baron power play that we had over here, I'll try to explain what I wanted to do with this map. So, if you remember, we were blue side, right? We had one wave was like here, right? Um, One wave was here, another wave was here, another wave was here, right? At the same point. Because this turret was gone. Maybe I do it like this. This turret was gone. Uh, this turret was gone. This turret was gone, and I think this turret was also gone, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure about our side turrets, but doesn't really matter in that case, right? So our waves are here, here, and here, if you see them. Now the problematic thing is we do have Baron power play here, right? We have managed to get the Baron, and here the idea is that we can either play for three big objectives, right? The first objective is top turret. The second objective is bot turret, and I think this turret was up, right? So the third one is this option. Um, since we have Baron, we can look to kind of spread our forces, right? The only kind of problem that we had in this case was the following. I think like Rat was already here, right? Trying to push this wave in and basically get pressure on this turret, which is fine by itself. And we had, I think, Reover and Bafu, or like two of them were here hitting this turret, right? Which is also fine by its own. But then we had like Noah still being here, and we had Zelva who had to pick up this wave over here because you know the red minions were also here. The red minions were like here, right? Hitting our turret or something like that. I'm not exactly sure how the scenario was, but basically the idea is that we these two players, Zelva and Noah. I'm not sure exactly where Noah was, but I think like either here or here or somewhere in this vicinity. Like they cannot play with you for these turrets. And what happened is like the enemy team, right? Obviously, like they rotated and they killed these two players just because, and they just lost one, right? So of course that is not good because we have the Baron power play. We don't want that to happen, obviously, right? So what can we do? Um, first thing that's kind of important is to kind of sync waves to some extent, right? Because this wave is like so far away, and when we're putting pressure here and here, it's not too good because someone has to take care of this wave. And in this case, we actually like had two people who were still near to this wave. And on these sides, you know, we were just spread, and they collapsed on the startup side, and you know that's kind of bad. So what has to be done is like you back off, both top and both bot have to like back off, and either just wait or try to have help shove this wave in that is over here. And when we have this wave starting to hit up over here, then we can look for stuff. Now the problem is like if we immediately start hitting turrets, we can again be very susceptible. If we're just five manning it, then it's kind of fine. But even then, like we can still get hit by all of them, and maybe if they have like a good flank option and stuff like that, we just still die, right? So the ideal option for me is that after we put these minions on their turrets, like here, right, when all three waves are kind of here, then first of all we decide: are we looking to play more for bot turret? Are we looking to play more for top turret? What's the plan, right? So ideally, what would happen, I think, is we decide, let's say top turret in this case, and what happens in that case is that I think at least ideally, like playing for bot top and bot at the same time is kind of hard because you need to set up vision in two places, right? You need to set up places in like this part of the jungle, and you need to set up places in this part of the jungle, right? Which is like kind of hard to achieve in a short amount of time. So what I think ideally could be done is we play like on bot and mid or on top and mid at the same time. So you guys have to decide on that, right? If we, for example, say we play for mid and top, like either one player is top and one player is mid, and the rest are on the other wave, right? Ideally, the one who is alone must have TP or like a very like fast way of joining here together, right? And then when that is the case, let's say we play for top and mid, we have to get vision, right? Some vision spots like this bush over here, like this bush over here, and perhaps if they have like a deep flank, like you could also use for some vision over here. If you have these 4 wards, this part of the jungle is kind of covered, right? They cannot surprise us here. If we're hitting this turret, they cannot surprise us. Now, because we're also hitting mid, excuse me, we still need some protection for the players or player who is mid, right? The first way is, of course, that they hover kind of towards the top side. And then, you know, maybe like put a ward here, put a ward here. Like, you don't need as deep as a warding scenario for mid lane, because you can always just hover towards top and get your team, right? If we were to play on both top and bot, it also could work if we are really strong and we can get good vision. Sorry for my fucking throat. But then we have to like get vision here. We need to get vision here, which we, you know, and then here, and then perhaps also like here, and maybe some vision here, right? Because you need to protect. We don't want to get collapsed. So the most 2 important things are, first, sync up the waves. Don't just push the turrets when there's 5 of them up and our 1 wave is over here and 2 of our players are like here and here, right? Like hitting this turrets like we did was very, very, very bad. Because what happened is we got collapsed and then we lose all of our Baron power. So ideally you back off, you help, or just wait for this mid wave to get pushed in. And in the meantime you can already search for vision, right? You can look for vision here. And then when we have vision here, like maybe Rad throws down a ward or two here, right? It's still fine, like it's not ideal. Maybe you would want to have the whole quadrant of the jungle warded, but like even if you have like a ward or 2 here, maybe here, Red is gonna feel safer, right? And then when these guys are just hitting top turret, right? If they engage, like Rat TPs and then we fight there. Or we back off and Red just takes this turret. Of course we have to count numbers, right? How many bodies do they commit to to certain plays? So I think this is basically a play that we should have done with that Baron power play, but we kind of fluffed it. But nevertheless, hopefully we know this for the next time.